I always forget to freaking do this. StreamYard is so dumb. Can I start the stream over? God dang it. I gotta cut the front of this fucking stream off now. When you use StreamYard, one of the things you have to do is you have to add things to the stage. And so every time you come in, you have to add yourself to the stage. And I forgot to do that. So I don't know. Can everyone hear me now? Welcome to the shit show. All right. Well, let me start over then. Hi, Chris. Hi, John. Hi, everyone. No, I didn't watch the Game Awards, but I saw clips on TikTok. And what else did I say? I saw that Queso won Content Creator of the Year, and that like it was kind of this unceremonious presentation of that award. I mean, like for Content Creator of the Year, you don't even stop to say thanks to the guy. And then I complained a lot about not knowing if my mic was working. You missed that. I cursed myself out a little bit for being an old man that doesn't know how to make things work. And I also, at the start of the show, said that I had no idea if it was even worth doing these streams because it feels to me like just watching me draw and listening to me go on is boring. And so should I even keep doing them? To which nobody responded anything positive or negative, but now I know why. So now we're all caught up. It feels like what I should do instead of streaming art is just do like an art show, like just record something like a video, like here's me drawing this, and then I don't know, time lapse it. I don't know. I do it because I like the interaction with you guys mostly. And I'm lonely. Dave, so I've been talking about this. I think what we should do, I really think it's a good idea. I think we should do it where like we get on and stream a couple artists like get together and have like a studio hangout and stream that. And then we're talking to each other and we're, you know, talking about art and comics and then we don't feel like, you know, I mean, there's, I don't know. It seems like there's something else to that. But then yeah, then it's a matter of like, well, whose show are we doing that on? You know, I don't know. Seems like that would be fun. S- Someone with some goddamn chemistry. Yeah, no kidding. Why can't you show what you're working on? Like right now, you're hanging out, right? You're in this chat. I assume you're working. I could send you a link and you could jump in here and just talk to me, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh, you can't show it because I see what you're saying. Because it's a project you're not revealing yet, and you don't want to take that power away from it. I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do when. Um, yeah. That makes sense. Well, okay. Yeah, I get that. I I mean, technically, I guess I'm not supposed to be showing this, but it's just you guys. Well, I hope I can make this a fun 20 minutes for you before you have to go pick up your kids. As someone who doesn't have kids and who recently took care of his niece, I've discovered that a lot of parenting is just time between taking them places and picking them up. You're drunk? Okay. And then you're going to go pick up your kids? Is that a good idea? Should maybe someone else who isn't drunk go pick up your kids? My niece is 11 now. Yes. Oh, you're going to walk over there? Okay. I guess that's okay. Don't put me in a position on my stream where I've got to figure out where you are and call CPS and come on, man. Okay. And Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, that's pretty drunk. So I'm glad you're not that. Unless you get attacked. Then you're going to wish you were. Damn it, Janice. I show up sober and I'm in trouble for not being drunk enough to protect the kids from that karate gang. I show up drunk and I get in trouble for that too. Yes, I was drunk when I went and picked up the kids. Yes. You're right. I was. But I looked outside. I saw there was a bunch of freestanding bamboo scaffolding. And that means there's going to be a fight. I mean, that's just the way that goes. I've seen enough of these, hon, to know. When there's freestanding bamboo scaffolding, yeah, there's table saw running for no reason. Exactly. You got to know the signs. This ain't my first kickboxer. That's pretty great. That's pretty funny. Guys, we're workshopping this bit. We're honing it to a fine edge. Come on. Honey, what do you want from me? God put me on this earth to do two things: drink and hilarious stumble my way through fights. You knew I was a drunken master when you married me. That's awesome. Uh, uh, that's great. I've always hated they made the monk's tank spec in WoW based on what? I love that. I tanked on a monk in WoW. This is my main for a long time. Pandarian monk named Shiatsu. I love tanking on him. It was a lot of fun. You crazy. You wrong, Ryback. You wrong. uh, insert name has asked a question. Hello, I'm new here. How long have you been drawing for? Do you mean today or in general? In general, it's been about 45 years. Professionally, about 30, almost getting there. Today, about 24 minutes. Oh, yeah. In general, since I was a kid, I decided I wanted to be a cartoonist in the fourth grade. That's when I made the declaration and chose this ridiculous career that isn't really a career. Oh, well, because so Sean's asking, why don't I see the messages that Scott is responding to? That's because I am multi-streaming today. So I'm streaming both to Twitch and to YouTube. So your chat came in from Twitch. That's why you have a little Twitch logo. And then an insert name uh, is on YouTube. So that's where that comment's coming from. And don't worry, your grammar is perfectly fine. Your English is great. What's your native language? Oh, okay, cool. I have no hopes of understanding that at all. It's nothing I'm remotely familiar with. So we're gonna have to rely on your English. I'm telling you. I do sell comic books. I've been doing comics professionally for about 25 years now, 26 years, and I've had them online as a web comic and I've sold books. This that I'm inking right here is a graphic novel that is for a traditional publisher here in the States. Um, and it is for middle grade students. So it's for kids, 11 to 8 to 11 ish. I don't know. I don't know the whole age group as well as I should. I don't remember what age group technically middle grade is for. We'll just say for kids, for kids. Well, that's not true. I'm told that lots of people read middle grade books. My friend is a teacher. He teaches high school and he's ordered copies of the book. And I said, why? Do kids in high school would read middle grade books? He's like, oh, yeah. Some read them because English is a second language and they're learning. Some people read them because that's where their reading level is. Some people just read them because they love those kinds of books and their reading level is where it should be at a high school level. So, yeah, I don't know. What can I say? Kids like books. But I read a lot of middle grade books, but just because I like to see what other artists are doing. Yeah, if you want to see my work, go to toonhoundstudios.com. Get ready to be underwhelmed. I don't know how to do that. Turn on keyboard navigation for the archives. I'll have to look into that. Someone else built my website for me, so yeah, please. If it's real easy to do it and to Checky, then and you know how, please do. Yeah, bring the flask just in case. That's a safe bet. Come on. Do you have any interest in getting a bot for the Twitch side for info, links, and advertisements? I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to go ahead and say sure. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't really show them. Okay. Fair enough. So it's like mhm. Hey guys, how's it going? Bonjour. How's it going, Lily? And hello, Matt. Haven't watched you in a bit, Scott. So wondering, what are you drawing these days? At least doesn't look like PS. I am drawing I'm in Clip Studio Paint, not Photoshop, and I am working on a graphic novel that I'm a series that I'm working on now these days, um, called Table Titans Club. I left webcomics and headed over to Kidlit. And that's what I'm doing now, or trying to do. That's my goal. So if you're familiar with my old webcomic Table Titans, this is about that group when they were kids, when they met in middle school. Or as they called it when I went, junior high. Which I think they should still call it, frankly. Don't know why we changed that. I don't know. I think the junior high I went to is still called junior high, but I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hi.
Hi. I was just going to pick up some sushi from the grocery store. Do you want some?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Another quick question.
Yeah.
Random. What's the last four of your social?
Oh, give me a second here. Hold on. Let me mute my mic. What? Why did she need the last four of my social? She's out buying groceries. Okay. I hope I did that right. I hope I muted that okay. Listen. You don't want to be me. Okay? Don't steal. If you're going to steal an identity, it ain't this one. Hold out for something better. Oh, well, all right, CG. I'm sorry. Hey, CG, you got a headset and a mic? Or are you out and about? Nobody wants your cancer, Matt. That's yours. I thought you beat it. Are you fucking serious? 50-50? Fuck. You're on your phone. All right, Chris. Well, we'll talk another time. Happy birthday. We're getting up there, brother. Wait. This is a flashback. He's not playing an elf in this one. He's just a normal dude. He's just a who man. Oh, see, we're the same age. All right, 53. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Did I say that convincingly? 53 is great. You're gonna love it. Okay. 53, you say? That's not so bad. 53 is the age where you start saying things like this. Beats the alternative, am I right? Oh, you can come on mic? Okay, hold on, David. I'll send you a link. You got a full head of gray hair? I don't have that yet. David Peterson. Oh, God. Abby, don't put that on me. I have not done enough. But all right, David. I'm going to send you the link to StreamYard on Discord. Oh my God, Barry. Holy shit. Yes. Oh, wow. Diagnosed with ADHD at 50. My brother and I were talking about that. We were discussing whether or not we have it. But this, it's also at the age where I can't stand up or sit down without making some sort of groaning noise. Yes. That's just it now. Here he is.
Here he is.
David Peterson. Now you tell me if there's a bad echo, otherwise I'll go get my headset.
No echo at all?
All right, cool.
Not at all.
Are you at least enjoying the stuff that you're working on?
It's a mixed bag. Yes and no. I think this is one of those things that, like, a year from now I'm going to look back and be like, that was so fun. And right now it's just all stress. It's so right now I'm working on I can announce at least this much, like, this is fair game. We're doing a Mouse Guard mini series where a guest artist is drawing it, but I wrote it.
Nice.
And that guest artist, one of his criteria for coming on to do it was that I color it.
Oh.
And like, I'm used to coloring my own stuff, but coloring somebody else's is a whole other learning curve.
You specifically, or just not him color it? No,
me specifically.
Wow.
Because I was asking, like, who do we get as a colorist? You know, like, hey, you've worked on this book and this book and this book. Do you want to get any of those colorists? You know, what should we do? And he's like, no, you're going to color it. I'm like, well, that's flattering. But seriously, who are we going to get? And he's like, no, I really want it to be you. You know, you colored that one piece of mine for fun, and I like the way it looked, and that's who I'd like to get. And so, yeah, I'm up against a deadline too with it, where it's just like,
but I hate coloring.
I love coloring. I actually even thought going in it was going to be fun. It was just the time sink.
Yeah.
And then now that I'm in it, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much harder. Like, the stuff of his that I colored before that was just for funsies was, it was just like a single character, no background. And at that point, it's just fun. It's just little color experiments and shading experiments and stuff. But when it's a whole scene and there's lighting and you're trying to get the eye of the reader to go where you need it to and keep a consistent palette and you're just like, oh crap, this is something else. So I'm freaking out a little. The editor moved the deadline on it too. I don't think it's like a hard deadline. Like, I think if I missed the earlier one, it would be okay. Like, nobody's going to die over it.
Wait a minute. It's a Mouse Guard book, right? Aren't you the editor?
Yes and no. I mean, there's an editor who's responsible for like keeping it on track and working with the publisher to, you know, all the things about coordinating the artist schedule, the artist's payments, the
Yeah.
yeah, you
Is
know.
it your company that's doing it, or are you under another publisher?
No, it's the same publisher that I've been using forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I have an with regular mouse guard books when we go back to press and stuff. I have an editor there who is the one coordinating with the printer and going, "Hey, we don't have the file for this, or the file for this we have is somehow corrupted. Can you get us a new one?" Or, "Hey, we noticed that there's a double space here where there doesn't."
No, I
need to
just
be.
thought for some reason I thought you self-published Mouse Guard.
Oh no. Nope. I every now and then I get asked to like speak on or be a part of a panel for self-publishing, and I'm like, thank you, but I only self-published one issue of Mouse Guard, and it was the first one 20 years ago. So I don't. I could talk about self-publishing, but don't take my word for it. But
Here are some other people that you could talk to that do this.
right. Yeah, they moved up the deadline to before the holidays. It was originally like January 8th or something like that. Now they're like, oh, it'd be great to have this by the third week in December before all of us go on winter break or on Christmas break. And I'm like, look, I appreciate that because I would like to have it done, or at least the first hunk done before, so that I can enjoy my holidays and know that it's already done. But it does irritate me a little that there's like this, I'm going to push to get something done so that it can sit in a Dropbox folder for 2 weeks while
That's
everybody's on
true.
vacation.
That's definitely what's going to happen too.
Yeah. No one's working on it. Like if I get it in by December 17th, it's not like anybody's working on it before January 3rd. Nobody's putting together InDesign files and final PDFs or pre-press or anything. But like I said, it'd be helpful for me. It also will get me an extra, like a little bit of early jump on the next issue, so that over the holidays I could start slowly working on it and feel like I'm getting ahead. So I'm still making that my goal. Well, we'll see. We'll see. How are things with Angie's job situation? Or looking for new employment situation?
She's interviewed with a pretty big medical practice to be their office manager based on recommendations of her to them by people she worked with previously and a patient at the practice she worked at previously. So
Awesome.
It was like kind of like word of mouth networking.
Yeah.
Putting out feelers like, hey, these people run a great practice and they've been looking for 6 months for an office manager. And so when Angie talked to them, they're like, oh, we've heard really great things about you. And the interview went really good, and she's got a follow-up interview coming. So
Julia did that for...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. Julia did that for a psychiatry practice. Two doctors, and she was the only other person who worked in the office. And it was way more... Like, I tried to get her to quit for years. There was a relative involved. One of the doctors was a relative, so it made things a little bit more complicated in that way. But I was like, you got to quit. They're overworking you. Like, you're doing the job of more than one person.
Yeah.
But the patients loved her. She was really good at it. Like, the doctors were always like, oh my God, Julia takes care of everything. She's so good. And then when it finally came time where she was like, "That's it, I'm out," they were shocked. Like, what do you mean? Why would you leave? But also she gave him a real soft like, "Hey, I'm not giving you my 2 weeks. I'm giving you like my 4 months notice so that you'll have plenty of time to find a replacement that I can train." And it took over a year, and they would hire and fire people that wouldn't work out because no one wanted to do the work of 3 people or could actually even manage it. And they ended up having to hire 2 people to do her job.
Well,
But yeah, if she had wanted to continue, I'm sure that she could have done the same kind of like the word of mouth thing would have worked for her, just like Angie. So it
the
sounds like
thing with Angie
Angie's
is
doing a
that
good job.
she was working for this kind of really irresponsible chiropractor who Angie was running their business and doing the books and saying, "Hey, you're running this business to make as much money as possible for yourself and not putting money back into it. You're not spending any time trying to get new patients. You're organizing patients' schedules so that you can get a 4-day weekend to go drive to visit your husband who's in a different town. Like, if you continue this way, we'll run out of money by the end of the year, and then the practice will be shot." And no one listened to her. And then she went into work one day and immediately came home, and I'm like, "What are you doing home?" She's like, "We're out of money." So it's super, super frustrating because
Yeah, that is frustrating.
she's like, "We're going to run out of money, and then you're going to have to take out a loan until," because I guess at the end of the year, the practice for chiropractors slows down until January, then it picks up again. So you kind of got to get through that. And it's not uncommon for them to take like a line of credit to survive like the last 2 months of the year until business picks up. And then they're like, Angie's like, she decided, well, maybe instead of taking a line of credit, I'll just declare bankruptcy and just go move out to where my husband is and start something new there.
What the hell?
Okay. Real responsible. Thanks. Doesn't
Declared
screw up anyone
bankruptcy.
else's life. You're
I don't even know how declaring bankruptcy is not going to screw up their own life, but okay.
I declare bankruptcy.
Did you think that just saying I declare bankruptcy was declaring bankruptcy?
Well, I think I just found out why my wife wanted the last 4 numbers of my fucking social.
Was that some government sushi? That's what happening?
Hi, Scott. You're in. You're all set and enrolled in the AT&T Signature Program based on your affiliation with AARP members. If you choose a plan that's eligible for a discount, you'll see it on your account within 1 to 2 bill periods. She probably found out there's some AARP discount.
Yeah, you just got some cheaper phone. There you go.
I was like, "What do you need my social
She
for?"
did-
She's like,
she-
"Gotta go, bye."
She didn't want to tell you because she didn't want you to be like AARP.
Signing me up for AARP shit. I'm like, knock it off.
My parents were a little older when they had me, and so they were getting into that generation when I was still in like middle school.
Yeah.
And I remember we started getting the AARP magazine.
Yeah.
And I remember it had like as a kid reading it and going, this has some really good articles.
I've read it before. I've seen it.
It was more like the kind of arts humanities kind of stuff. Like they were doing interesting interviews with book authors or illustrators or painters or musicians that I was like, this is good.
I thought I'd be retired when I became a retired person, but remind me, where do you Where do you live right now?
Michigan.
Michigan. So when we moved here to Seattle, things were different economy wise.
Hmm.
I mean, it was expensive to live here compared to where we moved from, which is Texas, but
Hmm.
it wasn't crazy like it is now. And when we bought our house, I think we spent $372 for it. And if you go on like Zillow or Redfin, it says it's worth like 1.1 million now.
Wow.
And my buddy is trying to encourage me to, he and his wife are like, why don't you sell the house, move to Des Moines? You can live with us for like 6 months. Angie can find a job. You guys can decide, where you want to go. You can sell your place, pocket like 600 grand, immediately be solvent, pay off your debts, not pay rent for some months, save up some money, and I'm like, you guys do not want us living in your basement, in your finished basement for 3 to 6 months. You do not want that. And they're like, hey, we'd figure it out. It would be worth it. And I don't know. It sounds tempting.
Yeah, I get the temptation. I think the downside there is Des Moines.
Well, yeah.
Nothing against people from Des Moines, but it's not where I want to be.
Well, yeah.
And then the other thing, my sisters both have some wanderlust, and from college on, it felt like they were moving all the time. Whereas I, like, out of college was like, I have this apartment, and then when I move out of that one, I'm going to stick with the next one for like 4 years. And but they would just move every so often, and it made me very aware of the cost of moving that people rarely take into account.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. Like you think like, whoa, oh, look, I'm going to save this much. I'm going to go from this rent to this rent. And beep, bop, boop, look at that. I'm ahead. It's like, you didn't take into account the cost of getting all your stuff there, setting up new accounts, first month's, last month's, all that stuff. Stuff you're not going to take with you that then you have to rebuy. I guess when you're moving a whole house, you're going to pretty much take everything, but
I mean, it would be something to do to kind of change your financial situation. I mean, it would be a quicker way doing it than another way, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, and when you can get that much further ahead,
I think that if I was like 30, it would be Des Moines, really. But I never, like, since COVID, I barely leave the house. I don't have any social life. And the climate's great here, but we don't do the stuff we used to do when we first moved here. Like,
Sure.
we don't go camping, we don't go hiking. It's like, and I grew up there, and my best friend's still there, and that would be nice. But yeah, it's Des Moines. It's not a super exciting place. I talked to Rob about it. Like, it would be like, it would be like Bilbo going back to the Shire. Like, I just want to relax. It's been really rough.
I'm looking at where Des Moines is in relation to other things.
And I told Angie, like,
well,
if we did it, it doesn't mean it's forever.
That's true.
But then you're looking at moving again, which is another huge pain in the ass. So.
Yep.
And you're not going to move back to Seattle, where it's going to just get more and more expensive while you're gone.
Right, you're out then. Yeah.
So that's something to consider.
Every now and then we consider moving just within the state.
Yeah.
And it has to do more with like trying to find that work-life balance, and that we've outgrown our house in that respect. Like, I mean, it's a 3-bedroom house and it's just Julia and I and the dogs. But when you're running a business out of
Oh
it
yeah,
and
definitely.
doing all the shipping, like, because we have an online store and she's, sending out hundreds of packages per month. We're receiving books. We're, all that kind of stuff. And every now and then I feel like, oh, I could really use some help with, having a studio mate come in and do this, or Julia could use some help. And it's like, we don't really have a situation where we can just hire someone to come in because it's our house. Like, there's no delineation.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons we don't end up moving is we love the area, like the city that we live in, because it's very progressive and we feel like we trust all of our neighbors. Like, we're never giving side eye, like, is that person going to be okay with my black friends coming over? If
Oh
that
my
person
God.
saw us wearing a rainbow flag, would they be pumping their shotgun? Like, that is not the neighborhood we live in, but we worry if we moved like to the part of the state that we like aesthetically.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be an issue.
yeah. Or at least you'd be worried, like, can I trust my neighbors? And not that anybody's gonna like pump a shotgun, but you know what I mean. Like, if a friend of mine puts
listen,
on
I lived in Texas from 1985 until 2009. Believe me.
yeah,
I know, and for the most part, like, there was a lot of the Dallas area that was actually kind of progressive.
sure,
But there was a lot of it that was not.
yeah. Well, and I'm
you would always
spoiled.
be, the thing that would drive me nuts is you'd be hanging out, you'd meet someone new. And this happened to me from college all the way until I left. You'd meet someone new, you'd, you'd talk to them, and then at some point they would just drop,
Yeah.
An N-word or something crazy. And you'd be like, what the hell's that? And they're like, oh, I'm not racist. That's just the way I was raised to talk. It's just such a
Right.
very casual kind of racism that existed there sometimes. That
And
would
then
drive me nuts.
and the minor suggestion of, how about we try to do better? That won't that then gets pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that stuff happened all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Or we'd be at the comic shop, and like one time I was at the comic shop, which was in a more kind of progressive part of Dallas, gay owned and operated. And this guy would come in and do his windows all the time because the whole storefront was windows.
When you say do the windows, you mean like clean them?
He'd come
or
in and
paint?
fuck the windows. He'd come in and clean the windows.
Okay, I didn't know if it was clean or like do cool paintings of.
Oh no,
superheroes,
that
like
would be awesome.
advertisements.
No,
Yeah.
he would come in and clean them.
Okay.
He'd come in and squeegee them.
Yep.
And Obama had just been elected, and I can't tell you how many times we talked to this guy and just really, enjoyed his company over the years. He'd been doing it for years. And then he's like, he just comes in one day and he goes, oh yeah. I hear they're going to rip up the rose garden and plant watermelon. And we're all like, what the fuck? What is
Wow.
that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, like not a like, boy, I don't like his politics, but
No, just
yeah.
straight up racism. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, so that was in Texas. That was always happening to me, where you would be like, oh, this person that I've known, casually, not a friend or something, but just general people that you interact with all the time. And then all of a sudden they would just say something.
Yep.
The mask would come off and you're like, oh.
Yeah. A relative of mine who I knew wasn't happy with Obama's winning the first time, who I knew was like, not an open racist. It was going to be policy issues. Was griping about the win and said, well, it's like my son-in-law said, if he comes down to, and I can't remember what state, he'll be hanging from a tree.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, wait, what? Like, even if your son-in-law said that, why are you repeating
Why are
it?
you repeating it?
And why are you also repeating it not like my son-in-law is a piece of trash for saying this?
Yeah, like you're excited about
Right. Like you're
No.
you're going like, well, I guess that would be an outcome I could live with. And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I did not expect that from you.
There was one time when I told my dad, and this was, he was still self-sufficient and stuff, but
Yep.
I was like, I don't want you hanging out with that kid anymore. He was super into model trains, and there was a model train store he went to all the time. And the guy that ran the store was ancient, and my dad would always like take care of him. Like he's like, oh, well, so-and-so's in the hospital, I'm gonna go visit him, and his son's watching the store, or my dad would even watch the store for him sometimes when he had like a hospital issue.
Mhm.
And so I went out one time to visit the store when my dad was there taking care of it for him. And he had just come back from the hospital, and he was just this cantankerous old dude, but he was just like so casually racist. And the back room had like dad's like, hey, go to the back room and grab this for me. And I went and just posted on the door of the office that you could just see walking the store was like like, oh, I got this funny thing in email, and it's making fun of Obama, and it was like, Steve Jobs died, now we have no jobs, blah, blah. And it was just this casually racist thing, and I'm like, what do you got, Bud? That was his name. I'm like, what do you got this in the back of your store for? And he's like, isn't that hilarious? I'm like, no, it's not. It's, first of all, it's wrong, and second of all, it's racist as hell. And he's like, oh, well, that's just my generation. I said to my dad, you're not allowed to hang out with this boy anymore. You need to come home. And then my dad would always tell me, like, you're not going to change him, son. You're just not going to change him. And I said, you can't just sit there and let him say that and not go, hey, bud, that's not cool. And he's like, you're not going to change him, son. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean you have to hang out with him.
That's not entirely true. You're not going to change the way he thinks, but you're going to change his comfortability with being that open, and you're going to get him to a point where he has to question, is this okay to say out loud? And that's what I think we should be striving for. It's more of a social experiment of thought police called decency and compassion.
I was like, yeah, Dad, people act that way. You cut them off, and then they don't have anybody, and maybe they go, huh, I'm alone. Maybe I should rethink this. Nobody likes this.
Have you seen any of the episodes of that Secret Level show?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
Any good?
Yeah, I only watched 2 of them. They're really short. Like I had seen the trailer for the Pac-Man one. Do you know about the show or?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I'd seen the trailer for the Pac-Man one, and I was intrigued. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, have you seen it? And I said, no, I haven't yet. I didn't even realize it was out. And he goes, yeah, I watched them all last night. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I went and looked, and the longest episode is 20 minutes. Like some of them are 12 minutes. They really are shorts. So you could binge a whole bunch if you wanted. But I watched the Pac-Man one, which I think is like episode 6 or something like that. So I skipped ahead. And then I went back to the first episode, which is a Dungeons and Dragons inspired one, which is why I was bringing it up. And it was more that I was curious about not just your impressions of it, but I had questions because it's been so long since I've played D&D that I was
I'm happy to try to answer your questions.
Well, it's more like, hey, this character.
Oh,
What was going on there? Is that some kind of like, whatever
yeah.
multi-class? Is that a new thing? Is that a 5th edition? Whatever. Every character seemed to have some version of magic.
Oh,
Some kind of, like, even the one that I thought was a fighter started making some symbols with his hands and was doing some magic. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's not a fighter. That's a something. That's a something else.
Mad Scott asks, after the stream is over, is it normal for the videos to have no sound? No, unless I played something that triggered a copyright thing. It should have sound.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess I could have, on YouTube for sure. On Twitch, they're less.
Twitch does it though.
Stuff.
Twitch does do it though.
Yeah, I don't know. Which video? I could look. I assume that if they did that, they would give me like a notice. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I was singing Yacht Rock myself. Maybe that triggered it. Could my Michael McDonald impression have removed sound? That'd be terrible.
You were just about to do it again, weren't you?
What's that?
So you were just about to do it again, weren't you?
She come from somewhere back in long ago. I just demonetized my stream.
It was like the breath.
I can't make money.
The sigh breath that you took after you finished that sentence was like a Michael McDonald staccato pattern. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
That Rick Moranis bit
Oh my god, that was so great.
is so good.
We loved that documentary. That was awesome.
Documentary.
It was good stuff.
I don't know what documentary you're talking about.
I think it's on HBO Max, but they did a whole Yacht Rock documentary.
Oh, okay.
And they talked about how the term Yacht Rock was coined by the Channel 101 guys, which is an old pre-YouTube like comedy video website that we used to watch. It's where Dan Harmon kind of got his starts. They were all up in LA. Draw with Scott. Inking Marathon has no sound. What? The most recent one? Oh my god! Really?
Is that the one where you even said, "Come listen to me rant about politics"?
Yeah, it's probably the one where I ranted about Comicsgate. I wonder if Ethan made a big stink. I wonder if Ethan reported me. He commented on it today. He's so mad. Man. Well, I don't know. It had sound last night. So
Hey,
I'm listening to it.
Sad puppy.
Oh, she can hear that my wife is home. She can hear the garage door shutting.
With that government sushi.
And she is a basset hound. And that means if she's in a room and there's 15 people petting her, she's happy. And then if one person leaves and there are now 14 people petting her, she's fucking distraught.
Yeah.
Hi, Angie.
Angie.
How you doing? Okay, good. I'd help you, but I'm an old AARP man. I'd help you, but I'm just an old AARP member. I'm so old.
Like the dog was agreeing. Yeah.
Chad, I don't want to prevent EFAPing. I want Ethan to EFAP my videos so that I get more attention on them. I need to put him to work for me.
Oh, shut up.
Imagine being the guy that worked on Green Lantern and Flash, and now you have to complain about Scott Kurtz. That's your whole day. Instead of getting to work on DC Comics. Oh my God. I might have to go here.
All right.
It's horrible.
What's horrible?
They might die.
All the way back down.
Oh no. What was that? Was it a block of government cheese? No.
Made it to the top step and came all the way back down.
People were making fun of you asking if sushi was okay and then needing my social that it was government sushi.
Government sushi.
I'd eat it. Charlie Brown. She was gone for 20 minutes. She went to the store. She wasn't stationed in Iraq. What makes you so special? No, it does not. No, it doesn't, because I never leave. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to stop the stream here. Thanks for hanging out with me, Dave.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Go enjoy your sushi. And make sure that dog feels loved. Because clearly not getting enough attention.
I'm an old AARP member too.
Are you? All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna split. Thank you for watching me draw while I did. I'll try to figure out why that one video has no sound. I don't know. It can't be because I sang Michael McDonald. Taking it to the streets.
I told Bennett to watch a documentary on yacht rock.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of yacht rock.
that's not surprising. How old is he? In his 30s?
28.
He's not even 30 yet.
No, he might be, but I don't think so. I think he's in his late 20s.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Well. Hi, Lucy. Oh, gross. Thank you.
Come say hi. The stream. Angie, there's 18 people
Hi,
watching.
stream.
The last time you talked, there were a couple people that said you had a great voice. And I said, I know. She's got a great voice for radio.
If only I had gone into radio.
You should go into radio.
It's never too late to go into radio.
We need to start our podcast up again.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. I have plenty of time now.
Nah, that won't be for long. Not for long, baby. Oh,
A podcast about
going on forever?
going on forever.
Or we just talk about whatever? All of my podcasts are me just talking about whatever.
Yeah.
I should probably have a topic if I'm going to do another one.
Probably.
Oh, there's David's dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody had the nerve to touch our front door. Oh, it's the postal guy. Oh,
All right. Well, I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you later, Dave.
all right. Bye, Scott.
Peace.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, Angie.
That's Dave Peterson. Mouse guard. I don't
Hi,
know.
Charlie. Little man. Hi, little man.
Stream ending now.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know how to end it anymore.
Kurt's out.